Hi, welcome back to GradGirlRambles. I'm here to talk about Postdoc. So I wanted to share why I decided to do a postdoc and also share that I've accepted a postdoc. If you're following me on Instagram, you've already seen the post, or Twitter, X, whatever. For a postdoc, I'm going to Brown University. I'm going to be doing an early childhood postdoc, and I just wanted to share why I decided to do a postdoc, why I want to do this one, and kind of like what that means. So in psychology, not everyone has to do a postdoc, but a lot of people do. There are formal postdocs like the one that I'm going to be doing, and then there are postdocs that are technically just jobs, but you're still being supervised by a licensed psychologist. The reason people do postdocs, and there are actually a few reasons, are one, I think the big one for psychology is whether or not you want to be licensed. So in most states in the US, they require some kind of postdoctoral supervision, clinical supervision, to be licensed in that state. I'm not sure how many states do not require them, but it's such a small number that honestly, if you plan to have a clinical career, doing a postdoc makes a lot of sense. For people who are interested in going into research or academia where licensure may not be required, sometimes that's a great opportunity for you to get a research postdoc where you're doing a lot more research, you're kind of getting more publication under your belt, doing more like grant writing, things like that. So then it can help prepare you as well for like an academic job, academic career. For me, I see myself going more the clinical route, and so that's why I'm doing a more clinical postdoc. So this is my mug. So for me, the position that I accepted is an early childhood postdoc. Anyone who knows me knows that early childhood is like the age range and the population that I'm really interested in. And so when I was applying, I was looking at a lot of early childhood positions. I think there was maybe only one position I applied to that wasn't specifically early childhood. And so as I was applying, I was looking for different types of opportunities. I was looking for more assessment. I really enjoy assessment, and my experience doing assessment in early childhood is fine. Like, I've gotten some experience, but mostly I've done school and high school age children. So I'm just like, I need more experience with early childhood. I also see myself really specializing in early childhood long term. And so being able to get that specialized training now was really important to me. And so I'm really excited to be doing it because this role is actually more of an early childhood mental health consultation role. So it's very much like working within systems. So preschools, Head Start, communities, working with them to kind of give them more the capacity to help young children with their mental health and their families and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. And then there's also a small like assessment and intervention component where I'm working with young children and their families. But for me, I'm really excited because there has been, I feel like part of going through a psychology doctoral program is like you're really just doing you're checking a lot of boxes. You're doing a lot of things that you have to do to graduate. And I think I've done that really well. And I'm just ready to be doing the very specific thing that I want to do. I'm ready to just start my career and go. And so I'm really excited for this opportunity because I get to do it in a place that, first of all, it's on the East Coast, and I am from Maryland. I've been trying to get back to the East Coast, and I'm finally getting back there. And just being closer to family, friends, things like that. And really excited for the opportunity to maybe stay there long term. I don't know, but just, I know East Coast is where I want to be long term, and so being over there for postdoc helps me at least get there for what I need to do in the future. So whether or not I stay at Brown or I go somewhere else, like this is just like where I really need to be right now. The other thing that is important for a postdoc is, so because my degree is in school psychology, there are more hoops that I have to go through if I'm interested in more clinically focused roles in the future. So for licensure, it's not necessarily a problem. My program is APA accredited, so that's fine. Now, while it is APA accredited, there are still positions that in the future I will probably not be able to apply to simply because I came from a school psychology program. That's fine. If they don't want me, I don't want to go there. However, There are other opportunities for credentialing that as a school psychology graduate, I would have to do a couple of extra things. So one thing that I recently was looking into was board certification in different specialties with ASPPB. And there is like a child and adolescent clinical psychology one. And for school psychology doctoral graduates, the requirements to even be eligible for that certification or that board certification is different than if you're in a clinical, which I think is also different if you're in counseling. So for clinical, it's like, and this isn't exactly what it is, but for clinical, it's like you need 5 years of postdoctoral experience and licensure wherever you are. And that postdoctoral experience isn't like the formal postdoctoral, it just means after getting your degree. For school psychology, I think the requirement is, I don't know why I was so confused, but there are two options. Either do 5 years of postdoctoral work in child and adolescent psychology, where one of those years is a postdoc, or do a 2-year postdoc in child and adolescent psychology. I was like, oh, I was trying to only do 1 year of postdoc so I could get my license and mosey on down. And I might still do that. I'm not sure if I really need or want that certification, but it was just something that I didn't realize as I was applying for things. So it's just something to know. Anyway, I'm really excited about my postdoc, and I think it's important for people to consider whether or not they need to do one, whether or not they want to do one. Doing a postdoc is really, I think, important to long-term goals. The other thing that I think is important to recognize is even if you live in a state where a postdoc is not required for licensure, if you ever plan to move, I think that would kind of get in the way of being able to move to a state and be licensed where they do require a postdoc. So if you know that you're going to stay in, I think Washington is one of them that doesn't require a postdoc. If not, I'll put something in here to say no, it's not. But say Washington. If you live in Washington, you want to stay in Washington, you don't want to do a postdoc, then don't. But if you think it's possible that you might move to Rhode Island, where they do require a postdoc, then that would kind of be an issue. So the mobility of licensure gets a little hairy if you don't have a postdoc and you're trying to move. But I think for the most part, if you plan to stay where you are, it's probably fine. But anyway, I just wanted to share that because I'm really excited about my position, and I'm also excited because there are a couple of people who I know who match to Brown for their internship. So I'll be doing my postdoc there and they'll be there for internship. And so it's also nice that every time I've moved, not for my my PhD program, but like for internship, when I moved here, I already had a friend who lived down here. For Brown and Providence, I have some people who don't live there now, but we'll all be moving there at the same time. So I think that's very exciting, that to have like little pockets of people that I already know. So I'm really excited, and that is all that I'm going to share, but I will chat with y'all later. Bye.